Welcome back to So Bad It's Good, presented by Betches Media. Today, this has been a long time coming because I feel like the only chance I get to talk to people I like is through the podcast. And I haven't talked to these guys in years. And the coolest thing happened a couple months ago was that I got to go see Oh Mary on Broadway, which was just fantastic. And we were walking into the theater, and our next guest was one of the ushers, and it was so weird because I immediately bear hugged him, and then I had to text him later or DM him like, "Hey, I'm so sorry. I know you're at work, and I just bear hugged you in front of a packed Broadway crowd." But I was so excited, and then I was like, "Oh, you guys got to come back on again," because they have a fantastic podcast. It's called I Am the Cute One. We're nearing 200 episodes. They have 2 episodes a week. The first episode, which they've been doing from the beginning, is like recapping a movie. This past week, they recapped the horror film Saw because we are in spooky season, and I can't wait to talk a little bit about that. And then they have a Friday episode that has like general pop culture. They have guests. They have a Patreon where you're going to be able to vote on which movies they cover coming up. They have a YouTube channel. I'll put all of that stuff in the show notes, but I'm just so damn happy to have them just so I can say hi to them. And I listened to the Saw episode, you guys. It's fantastic. It feels like you are listening to 2 friends, and they are just so on their game. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the show, Donny Hadfield and Chelsea Rivers from I Am the Cute One. Welcome back, you guys.
Hi, thank you so much for having us back.
It's so weird because, the pandemic was kind of where we were all online, feverishly. And, Chelsea, you had the Oh No Bravo, and now it's Oh No Chell's Instagram accounts. Mm-hmm. And I think we were just alone, just like putting out the darkest, stupidest, silliest memes. And yeah. I mean, could you ever imagine like 4 years ago that we would be doing podcasts on a weekly basis?
No, but I really have to remind myself every now and again when I'm like, oh, I'm so stressed, I've got to put out the podcast. I'm like, oh, no, wait, I'm casually like living my dream. 4 years ago, me, like wearing my Ramona eyes and going live on Instagram from my basement. Like, I'm pretty happy that we're both here, Ryan. And you have like blown the F up since we last chatted.
I don't know about that. All I know is that like I literally talked to my therapist about Tamra Judge this week. I was like, here's the thing that you don't understand. She said she was on the spectrum. Like, and my therapist
you get diagnosed with autism after that Zoom call, Ryan?
No, I was diagnosed with severe anger issues, I think. But I mean, it's what's so great about your podcast is you guys cover all of these classic movies. I don't mean Saw, but all these classic movies, and you get to talk about your spin on these things. And I just thought, man, I'm still locked in this room for 3 hours or 4 hours putting together an OC recap. And was that like a choice of like, hey, I know we both like came up in like loving Bravo, but you're like, I would rather the podcast, go to like general pop culture and movies.
So let me tell you something, Ryan. I started my Housewives podcast during the Monique and Candace era. So the blowback I got from fans was opinionated and heavy, and I understood that.
Wait, were you Team Candace?
I was not. But
I was. Basset Hounds, rise up.
But we were talking about violence, so I understood people had opinions. But then years went on, and I realized, wait, everyone's opinions are just as strong, no matter what is happening on these shows.
Yes.
And I don't know if my mental health can take it. Like, who cares what these women order at dinner? Why am I being yelled at in the DMs and saying my whole family should burn alive?
No, it's truly like, and it's still like that to this day. I always talk about like the anger economy is that they want to keep, and I don't just mean Bravo. I mean a lot of reality shows and pop culture. They want us to hate it because they want it, but it just inspires so much. So anytime I release something, I know I have to brace myself for whatever thing I said that goes against somebody else's opinion. And being a sensitive person, that's a lot. Not to be like, oh, woe is me, but it is intense when you wake up to some like, this is what you don't understand about Shannon. And you're like, okay, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
And that's why we did go to nostalgic movies, because for the most part, people aren't going to have those opinions about a Cinderella story or She's the Man. And if they do, we're able to just laugh at them instead of getting roped into it.
Well, we also, at the end of our episodes, we have a whole segment of what aged well and what aged like blockbuster, because let's be real, especially the movies we're covering from the early aughts, none of it ages well. All of it ages like milk in the sun. And so just acknowledging that, but still like allowing ourselves to laugh at it. Because if I can paraphrase Kyle Cook right now, Bravo should be fun. Pop culture should be fun. Recently, I have gotten on my soapbox, and I think my platform, if I were to run for president, is that pop culture should be hee hee ha ha. We should be having a silly time. We should be enjoying ourselves. Why are we like getting into Twitter wars with people over something that should bring us joy?
Oh yeah, I mean, I'm good with a common enemy like Diddy, but everything else is so like in like such a state of gray, and we don't have a lot of like subtlety when we talk about these things, or we it's like we're an anvil hammer talking about pop culture. Now everybody's a pop culture historian, which I totally love, because I love it just as much as everybody else. But the amount of negativity, and that's why I like listening to your show. I was like, oh, this is so fun. And by the way, it's based on your friendship. Like, I can tell how good of friends you guys are and that you've grown to be over these last years. And I just think that's like one of the beautiful things about your show, is that like it's you can sense this solid friendship. So no matter how many times Donny is wrong, you still love him.
Thank you, Ryan. Thank you. Yeah. Donny is my soul sister, my best friend, and my mortal enemy. And we really have grown to have a special bond over the years.
And what works is I know I'm never wrong. So Chelsea can say whatever she wants.
If I can get you guys against each other completely by the end of this, that would be great. Like, this is the last
just Tuesday, Ryan. It's okay. And we say we cover movies, but really it's just an excuse for us to talk about ourselves. So if people are thinking they're going to hear the ins and outs of Saw, it will be, one scene of Saw, 6 personal stories.
Wait. I'll push back on that a little bit, because the Saw episode, you had so many facts about Saw. You had so many. And I was thinking, guys, if you haven't seen Saw, I don't know if I would necessarily recommend it. All I know is that there's 10 Saw movies out there in the franchise, potentially more. And they are it's like torture porn. It's horror porn, and it is so gory. And Chelsea doesn't like gore. So I was like, was that Donny messing with you? How did you choose Saw?
She picked it.
I picked it.
Every other week, so that we're not like hitting the other one with movies they hate. I pick a movie, she picks a movie. I pick a movie, she picks a movie. And on her week, she picked Saw.
Yeah.
Why did you pick Saw?
I don't self-sabotage. I don't know. I need to speak with my
Did you see like the little clown with the big cheekbones and go like, oh, I can dress up like that?
I think, well, yes. If I can wear a bald wig, I will probably opt into the movie. But no, I think it was because on our movie list, we have like what anniversaries are coming up. And this is the 20th anniversary of Saw. So I was like, oh, I think in my mind, I diminished how disgusting it was. And I was like, oh, it's probably like a thriller. It's kind of like Seven. I can handle it. And then literally that first scene started and I was like, oh boy, I have made a terrible mistake.
I'm not going to let her lie to you, Ryan. It was not on the list because I am the one that makes that list. And I knew I didn't want to watch it. She went out of her way to research, found Saw, and then brought it to the table.
Well, I learned my lesson. I want to give a public apology. I am sorry because
I want your show to turn in just to a Saw recap where you do all the Saw movies. Because by the way, Chelsea, it gets so much worse in the other Saw films. Like it just keeps getting worse and worse. And there's like a thin storyline or mythology, which you kind of get into sometimes. But even as you were talking in your recap, I was like, do you know how quick I would give up in a situation like that? I'd be like, no, I'm not going to Saw it. Just literally kill me.
Thank you.
Picked the wrong person. I would never do it.
Jigsaw.
Yes.
Game over.
Yeah. And you're covering Addams Family next week, which is just as gory, but from gory from the heart. Like that's that Addams Family is like a feel good macabre horror film, not a horror film, but a Halloween film.
Yeah. I can't wait. And my costume for the episode came in. I'm not telling you what I am, but it is a day of the week.
Oh, okay. I wonder what it is.
You're Morticia. I got it. I rewatched the movie Contact this weekend from like 1996. And I just thought like there were so many things, like it's still a really good movie and it asks like really big questions, but I was so hung up on the technology It was like state of the art technology, and they're on like a cell phone that had to like be 3 stories tall. And like it was like, and I was like, oh my god, these things sometimes age like milk in like certain ways. What are some of the weirdest things that you've rewatched that had like moved you as a kid, and now you're like, oh god, what did I think?
Well, the premise of our podcast is I actually grew up watching virtually no movies. So a lot of the movies that we're watching for the first time is my first time watching it. So everybody has these nostalgic ties, and then I am coming in as a 35-year-old woman seeing it in the year 2024 for the first time. So to this day, the movie from all of our episodes, the movie that has aged the worst, hands down, is Never Been Kissed. And that is a movie that everybody has the warm and fuzzies for because they grew up watching it. I was horrified, Ryan. The entire premise is adult people trying to fuck people they think are teenagers. That's the whole premise. There is a sub storyline of the brother whose character arc is that he literally had enough self-control to not hook up with an underage gymnast. That's how we know that he has developed as a human being.
Oh my god, because I do have warm and fuzzies for Never Been Kissed. And by the way, Never Been Kissed has like one of the best soundtracks. I remember when I used to buy CDs. That was such a banger soundtrack. But you're right, like and isn't there like Drew Barrymore falls in love with the teacher, and then the teacher
who thinks she's a student? Yes,
And luckily she isn't. She's of age, so I guess everything's fine.
Oh yeah, no, all clear here, all good. No, I just think that's really, really now you've got me tripped up. Now I'm just thinking about Never Been Kissed because I can see the movie poster clearly. And Josie Grossi, I mean, is such an iconic character. But yeah, that movie probably couldn't be made today at all.
No, I suppose not.
No. Donny, tell him about our Morally Corrupt month, though, because that was your brainchild.
So we do cover movies where we accidentally stumble on one, like Never Been Kissed, that doesn't age well. But I said, what if we go out of our way to pick ones that we know didn't age well? So this year we covered The Other Sister. What else did we cover, Chelsea?
We covered the Lisa Kudrow one.
Oh, Marcy X. That's always a great one.
Shallow Hal.
Shallow Hal. And then what was our gay one?
Oh, Shallow Hal. Yeah, that's another one where, oh my God.
Yep, Gwyneth Paltrow in a fat suit, if you haven't seen it, ladies and gentlemen.
Yep, and Jack Black had to lose weight for it. Oh, and the last one was I Now Pronounce You Chuck and Larry.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, where Adam Sandler and Kevin James pretend to be married, right? Firefighters.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. We just all accepted those. Those were just like, yeah, I'm going to go see Chuck and Larry and laugh at straight dudes acting like they're gay. Like that's now you say it out loud and you're like, oh, that's completely ridiculous. But it was societal norms were so different, which I guess we should be happy that we are where we are. But what were we thinking?
I don't know. And what's even wilder, Ryan, is I cried in theaters when I saw it, and I cried during the rewatch when we watched it.
You cried at Saw, Donny. You were like Saw.
That was out of fear. Chuck and Larry, I cried from emotions. It was just so moving.
Love is love, Ryan.
Yeah, please wait. Donny, please tell me. Back then you were straight, and then you saw Chuck and Larry.
No, I think I was gay when it came out. Yeah.
No, it's
his origin story.
Now I just want to see you just straight up do either the Saw thing or just movies that don't age well, and just like again and again, because there is so many of them. And I wonder too if like reality shows, like we'll go back and we'll like digest earlier seasons of like Roni or Beverly Hills, and they're ridiculous, but I think they were always sort of ridiculous. So it's a little different than like a movie in that we kind of already accepted there's a layer of ridiculousness to it.
Yeah, and I think that the magic of the Housewives is nobody who is on Bravo is a good person. You know what I mean? Like there could be shades of good people, but like pretty much
even the fact that you signed up. The fact that you signed up to be on the show, you're already suspect. Like there's no like just one like it's not like Mother Teresa was on like Housewives and you can just like, oh, she was genuinely pretty good.
Yeah. So I think that like all of the stuff that ages poorly about the Housewives, it was aging poorly immediately. Like Luann de Lesseps back in the day coaching that girl to be a model and it's like, well, you can lose 15 pounds. Yeah. Like in that moment, watching it in real time, I was like, oh boy, Luann, no.
Or do you remember when Luann wasn't like she like doing some like kind of get together with like former prisoners, like women prisoners, and she was like, "Girls, yeah, what a bright future you all have." And then like Ramona was,
I've
so
been
bizarre.
through what you've been through because I had a ham sandwich thrown at me. Like, oh,
Don't you sleep with Harry Dubin? I'll tell you that much. Do not do it. So I was asking these guys before we started what Bravo shows they've kept up on, and Donny, you watch Potomac, you watch and Salt Lake City, right?
Yeah, and Roni, yes.
And
Chelsea, you watch Salt Lake City, and is that it?
I watch Salt Lake City. The women at Potomac, they've broken my heart. They're like a toxic boyfriend. We had good times together and they're slowly earning my trust back. So that's like a folding laundry type of show for me where I'm like half paying attention, half doing other stuff. But for the most part, those are the two that I am watching right now. I started off with OC and then, I love myself some Shannon Storms Bedore, but I did have to hop off of that ship.
Did you hop off like at the beginning of the season? Did you get like a couple episodes in, or did you hop off like even before the season started?
I got a couple episodes in and then I was like, I see what's going on here. That's enough for me.
I really don't like you protecting your mental health. Like, I don't think that, I think there's no play in that. I'm frustrated. I'm like, I would never be strong enough to dip out on any season, no matter how much I hate it. And I just feel like you're growing up too much.
Well, Ryan, that's why your follower count is what it's at and my follower count is at what it's at. Because I'm like, you know what? I can't do it to myself anymore.
But also, Ryan, you don't have a co-host. So Chelsea needs that time in therapy to talk about me where you can talk about Tamra.
Wait, have you ever been in any, like, what's the, like, do you even have, I mean, you have squabbles, like any.
Oh, the biggest fight we've ever had is when she didn't like while you were sleeping.
Oh,
I texted her. She told me she didn't like it because we compare notes a little bit before we record, but most we go in blind.
We have a joint outline, but it's bare bones so that like we know, like I know I'm going to give a pause for Donny to go on a rant about X, Y, or Z, but I don't know what X, Y, or Z is. Yeah. So we like kind of have an idea, but then it's totally off the cuff as we're recording. But we do sometimes text, like if I'm watching a movie for the first time, I will text him like, oh, I love this, or oh, I'll share my thoughts, whatever. I texted Donny because this is one of his favorite movies, and I needed to prepare him. I knew this was something that I needed to give him the heads up that I fucking hated that movie. It was so stupid. And Donny legitimately was like, can we push our recording? I need some time to process.
I was at happy hour, Ryan, and I knew if I was drunk and we recorded this, it wouldn't be fun. There wouldn't be like a fun banter. I would just be pissed. So I was like, I need 2 hours to sober up a little bit.
I think the reverse of that, like the closest you were like legit pissed that time, but I think the closest to being that mad at you I've been is when you made me watch Sucker Punch. Because let me tell you, Zack Snyder is number 1 on my nemesis list right now.
Wait, Chelsea, I agree with Chelsea wholeheartedly. I thought Sucker Punch was a horrific, and I'll tell you, I'll even go a step further. I think Zack Snyder, I do not like his filmmaking. I don't like the colors he uses. I don't like the edits he chooses. I don't. And by the way, like
Donny
I
just
know.
Logged off.
I need time to process this. I'm sorry, and I love Batman. I love superheroes. I love all of this stuff, and I just can't get into his world. And it's like across the board on his films.
Okay, but here's the thing. Sorry. I'm not talking about him as a filmmaker. I'm not talking about across the board. I'm talking about 5 pretty girls who are in an insane asylum, who then pretend they're in a brothel, who then pretend they're basically in a video game.
Yeah. Zack Snyder's Sucker Punch is a man congratulating himself on understanding feminism.
And I'm congratulating him as well.
Yeah, which, you know what, Donny is, put on that pussy hat, Donny, our feminist icon.
I gotta tell you though, I remember, I hated Sucker Punch. Like Sucker Punch, even, I'm not even talking other Zack Snyder films I can accept. That one, for some reason, stuck in my craw so hard. But I love that it's just like that thing your parents used to tell you, like, oh, there's somebody's out there to love everybody. Like you're like somebody will love anything. So I love that. Oh God, now I got to go listen to your Sucker Punch episode, and I want to listen to while you were sleeping episode. Because while you were sleeping, I actually kind of dig. I think that's a sweet, sweet movie. And you have a young
holiday
Sandra
classic.
Bullock. Like Sandra, that exploded her, that and Speed, into like superstardom. And I think she's so, but Bill Pullman's never really done it for me.
No,
Is it Bill Pullman, the lead?
Yeah, it's all about Sandy B. I have an oversized white sweater to decorate my Christmas tree with every year, just for her.
Your Christmas tree has to be a mess. Straight up mess.
One year I told Quinn that I was like, I think I'm going to start collecting those Christmas Barbie ornaments. And then he bought me one and I was like, no, that's too gay for me. In my head, when I said it, I wanted the whole tree, every one for a different year until I die. And then once I got one, I was like, that we can put it on.
That's your line. I love that is your line. The man that came to visit me and played Vanessa Hudgens' Spotify radio the whole time, but one Barbie ornament, too gay.
No, one's enough. But my vision was to have a full tree of it. And I was like, okay.
Oh, like I was like unpacking things at my storage facility, and I had all like from a different life, like my ornaments that I got, and I forgot that I had the original Jersey Shore ornaments, like Snooki, like the first year that came out, and all of a sudden like
it's probably
popped
worth
off.
Money.
I would think so. Like I have Situation, I have DJ Pauly D, and then then some of them I was like, wow, I remember buying this and I thought it was hysterical. I had a Hannah Montana ornament. Then
I'll buy off of you.
Yeah, I had no, I'm keeping the Hannah Montana.
Okay,
I had a Batmobile. I have a Roseanne Barr ornament I found. And I was like, where the Roseanne Barr? That's interesting. So, but like, do you remember like our grandparents or like people like back in the day explaining where they got these beautiful ornaments and these precious memories? And then like me, if I ever had a kid, would be like, that's my Hannah Montana that I got at CVS. That's going to be yours one day. Yeah.
Ryan, my tree topper is a family heirloom that I inherited from my mom, who it was like my great aunt made this tree topper, and I will send you a picture for you to post with the show notes.
You
or
post
whatever.
it along with the show, yeah.
It looks like a penis. It is bejeweled, and it has a little pearl coming off. It looks like a flaccid dick.
Does it vibrate?
It doesn't vibrate, but it does every year get a little less erect on my tree.
Just like me. That's amazing. Wow. I wanted to bring up one more thing about Saw that I actually learned from listening to you guys. I totally have blanked out on that Glee did a Saw, like the TV show Glee. Ryan Murphy already foreshadowing what he was to become. What was Glee where they did something Saw related?
It's literally the only plot line in it, Ryan. It's not like there was a whole Saw episode. It wasn't a Halloween episode.
Was it like the last season?
Yes. It was when a couple of them came back as faculty and the gay couple had broken up, and Sue Sylvester in her tracksuit wanted them to get back together. So she built an elevator in the school. Okay. And then when the gay couple took the elevator, they realized it wasn't an elevator at all. It was just a trap she made. So then the wall opens up and a little Sue Sylvester Saw puppet rides out on a tricycle and says, if you two do not kiss while you're in this fake elevator, I'm never letting you out and you'll die.
And that's what you missed on Glee.
Because Jigsaw's big line, you guys listening, if you haven't seen it, is like, do you want to play a game? And like, even in real life, that's like in non-threatening situations, I'm always like, no, I do not want to play. Like, I don't, like, no, not play solitaire. Yeah.
I love a game.
We just put out a reel of me as Jigsaw and Donny playing Donny, of Jigsaw asking Donny if he wants to play a game. And Donny, it was the easiest script either of us have ever written because it was just truly based on a true story of any time Donny and I travel with each other. And he's like, do you want to have a potato sack race? And I'm like, actually, absolutely the fuck not. I do not. He is a very big proponent of organized fun. Him and Jigsaw would have a blast together.
Well, no, I mean, I'll say I've seen pictures over the years of you guys getting together and like doing fun stuff. And I'll have that moment of, while I'm like recapping some like horrible episode of OC of like, God, that looks like fun, like real friendships, like real bonding. And yeah, it looks amazing. Okay, to take you to another horror show, I wanted to talk about Salt Lake City really quick, because you're both watching this. Now, Chelsea, why have you continued to watch Salt Lake and haven't dipped out yet? We're like 5 episodes in.
Because the magic of Salt Lake City is these women absolutely do not understand the assignment, and that's what makes it magic. the cognitive dissonance between what these women think they're doing and what they're actually doing is perfection. Like, this show is a comedy, but they don't know it, which is brilliant.
Same, Donny?
Yeah, every single woman on Salt Lake City has a mental illness, and it's fun. And it's
Undiagnosed.
Sorry for your negative review on that one.
By the way, in the Salt Lake City ladies contract, it's like you can never go to therapy. You will not, like, until you're off the show, no therapy. But you're right. I mean, each one of those ladies, the dissonance comments is dead on, because to me, like, it always feels like, I say, it's like a fever dream. It's a David Lynch film. It's like Willy Wonka, and they all don't. And by the way, they like fully, none of those are real friends. I mean, in the sense of like, you treat your friends with some sort of respect. They all just like across the board. And then Bronwyn, who I love, she's like doing Diane Wiest in Bullets Over Broadway, you know? Like, stop. Like, it's so, but at the same time, then they had this beautiful scene between her and her daughter this week that I was kind of blown away of like how deep that storyline was, with like losing the father, and the father never got to meet the daughter because the family had shooed them away.
No.
Do you think that Bronwyn knew that Lisa had that connection? Or do you feel like she genuinely had like a slip up where she showed the picture and then she was like, oh shit, this is going to be a storyline now?
Well, this is why I think we're like potentially in a simulation, because if that is to be true, like, how many things had to come together at the right moment, at the right time, for her to pull her phone out, show Lisa? Because also Lisa seems like, so like, okay, whatever, like not really paying attention. She had to really look at that photo, immediately go, oh, I know that person. And then all of a sudden we have this storyline that potentially is going to be played out for the rest. I'm not saying it's fake, but it is like, wouldn't you know in some capacity? And the other thing, because I think Bronwyn's a fabulous housewife, I keep thinking, you know how like everybody like cyber stalks like exes and stuff. Like, I mean, I don't mean like, but like at a certain point, Bronwyn never went on and looked at where like she had just found out he had passed away too randomly. Like I don't know. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, I think that when he passed away, it was more of like the Facebook era, because she says she found out from a Facebook status. So I'm thinking that it was, and her daughter was only 2.
Oh, you're right, 2 years old. So it was 16. Yeah,
it was 16 years ago, where like we hadn't yet honed the craft of internet stalking. Which, let me tell you, I am an internet investigator. Give me a name and a general region, and I will find you anything you need to know about somebody. But like,
you're like the podcast Kristen Doty.
I'm gonna come in with my green dress, just getting my DVD back. But I do think that with Bronwyn, it's like I feel, I don't know, maybe this is, I'm being naive, but I feel like it's genuine. Like, I think that we're gonna certainly see whatever brand of cuckoo bananas she's bringing to the cast, but I do feel like she's a good mom. Like, I don't think she would
100%.
go on her first season and make her daughter the storyline. And I do think like their conversation seemed genuine, where I felt like the subtext, because the daughter was saying like, I don't like how it's happening on TV, or I don't like how it's happening, but like it's happening. And I felt like the subtext was like, this is a storyline on TV, and I'd rather that not be the case, you know?
Yeah, and I kept thinking like the 18-year-old daughter, like what poise she had. Like, imagine being on camera talking about something so deep and something that's like haunted her for her entire life, and having this very adult conversation. And I was so impressed. And that's why I think Salt Lake also works for me, because when you have that solid foundation, you can go to all these different bizarre, like you can laugh harder when they go to Milwaukee, and you can like about fighting at like a Bucks game, like that kind of stuff. You're like, oh, that's like so bizarre and funny. But then we have like these like little thin line of real. And I think that's why it kind of works for me.
Yeah. I love Salt Lake City. It's one of the only cities, and I know it's the shortest one, so maybe over time it will burn me the way I've been burned before, but I think it's the only one I've never fell off of.
Has Heather Gay gotten too big for her britches?
Yes.
We Ryan, can I use your platform to speak something that it's to quote an influencer, it's weighing heavy on my heart, and I need to come on here and talk about it. Heather Gay's tagline, that is not her quote. She was quoting back what Monica said to Monica. And then when that blew up, now all of a sudden she has co-opted it because it was Monica who said receipts, timeline, yada, yada, yada. And then in that moment when she's yelling it back to Monica, she's saying, Monica, I have your formula, receipts, proof, timeline. So like that is the most Heather Gay thing that's ever been. That she
So you're saying Monica could sue Heather for intellectual property?
Talk to John Jansen. Let's get it going. That is the most Heather Gay thing, to take something from somebody else and be like, well, this is mine now.
I was thinking of, those like silly memes everybody makes about the Spirit Halloween costumes. Yeah. I want to do one for John Jansen, and it's just Ferragamo shoes. I mean, it's a more expensive Spirit Halloween costume, but it's like Ferragamo shoes that you didn't buy, and then or slutty John Jansen costume.
It's naked, but just with the shoes.
Yeah. This is only for fun, Lexi. Which, by the way, Chuck, you are missing out on some ridiculous moments. But I would say if you just scroll the internet, you kind of know what those moments are. And we've watched so much Bravo over the years that it doesn't take much to I see what's going on. I
have a working knowledge. I feel like I'm back in 10th grade English where I have the cliff notes and I can bullshit a paper,
Yeah, you'll just cheat off Donny.
Yeah.
Well, not on this one. I hope not, because I don't.
You're out on OC.
Well, yeah, I've never watched.
We think like Jigsaw, obviously a toxic individual, really doing some horrible stuff out there. Yeah. But in terms of the Bravo universe, there's, like we talked about earlier, so much toxicity. I mean, we had Jen Shaw go to prison. We had the Erica Jane, Tom Girardi stuff. We had Tom Sandoval just as a person. We had John Jansen and Alexis and whatever lawsuits going on with Shannon and the $75,000. Has it always been this toxic? Or are we just growing up and we start to feel weird in our stomachs about certain things?
I think it's always been this toxic. I mean, we had Thomas Ravenel in Southern Charm 15 years ago. We've always had men that are a little scary that you don't really, we shouldn't be watching, but there is that voyeurism. It's like true crime, but it's Bravo. It's you want to take a peek.
But Chelsea, it is now crime.
Now it's literally
actual crime.
Yeah.
We're waiting. That's what scares me is that, Whitney keep trying to unravel whatever mystery this season. I don't know why we Scooby-Doo this, but I'm eventually there's going to be a murder. It's going to start with a murder, and they're going to do the Bravo thing. Well, they'll start at the funeral, and then they'll go, and they'll go back in time.
And it's Salt Lake City, so we'll get the
yeah, it's the mean streets of Salt Lake City, and it'll probably potentially be Angie K because there'll be a Greek flag over the coffin. And
I can't have it be her. That's the presence I just cannot do without. I need it to be a side player, Brittany.
God, whoa, my God, what did you guys think? Wait, listen, Jared Osman, my God, I want him on the screen so much. He was like, hey, let's get a charcuterie board. I keep saying just going to get some meats and cheeses.
You look like him a little bit, Ryan.
How dare you?
Fancy him. No, I mean that in a nice way. He had man
jewelry on. He had an Express for Men. He had the Jax Taylor 2 buttons on the Express for Men shirt down, and he kept looking at her. He's like, I miss you. I miss us. I miss my friend, and he put his friend in a Costco shopping cart, and then and then she was all excited about this. Something's going on. It's already weird, but I feel like I'm being played with those two.
Well, he in real time has said that she is the one that kept breaking up with him, and she was the one leading him on and all this stuff, and that she only used the word relationship when the show came to her and said what can you offer us? And she's like, oh, a relationship with an Osmond.
But they took couples pictures. Have you seen the photos where he has a scroll, a map in his hand, and he showing so his forearm muscle pokes out. That's you don't do that with your friends where you take some friends, but guy girl things, you don't usually do that. Those are glamour shots.
Yeah. One thing about me is I do hate most men until they give me a reason to not hate them. So congratulations, Ryan. You've passed the test. I do
I hate myself. But there's something
about this man.
We suck. I will say, we suck, and year in, year out, we keep sucking. And I think you can kind of learn from that and try to get better. But I think we all start from a place of suck in some ways. And I think Bravo just really, truly highlights that. So I think Jared, if you are in it to watch men that are on sucks, he's a great addition. Like, I want to see more scenes with that guy.
Between this and Mormon Wives, the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives show, like, I really cannot get enough of women who have left Mormonism and are tangentially still attached to toxic men. I think I can't get enough of it, because there's something about this Osmond character that really unsettles my spirit in a way where I can't wait to tune in next week. I really hope he starts getting more screen time, because he is horrifying. This is my spooky season.
It's like when, like, and you guys don't watch, but like Alexis is a friend of, so she's not in every episode. And then I find myself like, I'm not missing her, but at the same time, I'm like, damn, would have loved to have seen where she like freaks out about something, because it gets me upset, that's the name of the game. So I do kind of, I want those moments to get me, and like those moments just make me laugh so hard internally. And Salt Lake, there's nothing better. But you brought up Secret Lives of Mormon Wives, and you know, that Hulu show, for like a first season show, kind of shocked me, because it does everything a good reality show does. It takes you behind the curtains of a group of people that you might not necessarily know how they live. You have toxic relationships across the board. You're trying to understand why they're not supposed to have caffeine. You do soft swinging, but it's only like one of the people actually soft swung, and it still kept you. You have Whitney, who is like a villain right out of the gate, but she doesn't even know she's a villain.
The best kind of villain, a delusional villain that doesn't know she's the villain, is perfection.
But how do you think they got them to sign up for a second season? And I guess the easy answer is money. But like Whitney, I was like, there's no way she'd come back. There's no way. And I think that's like this allure of like low-level fame just does it to like, you just see how it not eats their soul.
That's it exactly. If I were approached to be on reality TV, I would have no problem playing the villain. And I think the more people that actively hated me, the more it would make me feel like I was doing my job.
Donny's destiny is to be the villain on Big Brother. Ask, believe, receive, and so it is. It will happen. We are manifesting it. And by George, when he does it and everybody on the internet hates him, I will be covering it on the Patreon, and I will be talking shit, and I will be making money off of it.
You guys covered Big Brother on the Patreon, and Donny, you are a huge fan of Big Brother, and you got Chelsea into it. I watched the first season like decades ago, and then I was like, this is too much even for me, just in time commitment wise. Yeah. And now like I see the passion of Big Brother fans, and I've talked to like Taylor Hale's been on the show a couple times, and I love her dearly. I love these people, but it is such a commitment. Like it just ended a week ago, right? Or over the weekend? Or last week?
So as a viewer, it is a commitment. It's on 3 times a week from like middle of July to early October.
Oh, I thought it was every day for some reason. Okay.
Well, live feeds you can watch at any time, but there's edited episodes 3 times a week. But at any time, you can turn on CBS.com or whatever it's called, Paramount, and watch them just like eating cereal. You can watch them sleeping. You can watch them. Sometimes they talk about games. Sometimes they talk about real life. But like you can truly watch them as if they were Sims. It's brilliant.
I love that you're just saying that like with a straight face. You totally.
Ryan,
you're just like it's brilliant. It's brilliant.
I was indoctrinated into this cult because when Donny first tried to explain Big Brother to me, I could not tell if he was fucking with me because he would say things like, well, sometimes you're on slop and that's just when you eat slop for the week. Sometimes you're a have-not and you got to sleep on an inflatable raft. And I'd be like, but are you fucking with me or is this real? And he's like, oh no, it's real. Like sometimes a punishment is you have to wear a canoe around the house and wear it the whole week. And all of it was true. And then slowly but surely he got me into it and now I'm hooked. And then I got my sister-in-law into it this last time. And then I found myself being the Donny being like, well, so the power of veto, but then you want to backdoor them. But then if they're on slop, then da-da-da. I'm like, oh my God, it's happened. I am now somehow like spreading the good word. I am Jack in Colombia spreading the good word of Big Brother right now.
This is your Brigham Young University.
Yeah.
But I mean, Donny, you do live in an age where you can apply to be on this show. Have you?
I've applied numerous times. I've applied for Big Brother.
They've asked me to stop. They
actually sent a restraining order.
I've applied for Big Brother and The Circle. I'll do any reality show in a house.
Did you get close at all?
No. But it's okay, because I've had big lifestyle changes this past year, and I think that...
Oh, you think it was lifestyle? You think that was what was keeping you off Big Brother?
He's got a good story now. He's got a comeback story.
Yeah, and that's what the problem is. Like, my personality is no problem. I'm a fan of the show. I think I would be great TV.
You're humble.
So modest.
Yeah, humble is a huge thing.
I think the problem is, like, in terms of backstory, I was like a middle-class white boy whose parents were together his whole life. No real issues here. But, spoiler alert, everyone, if you want all the details, it's on our Patreon. I did get a divorce this year. So, I will take that into my reality TV auditions and say I'm finding myself.
I had no clue, dude.
Ryan, it's on the Patreon.
Patreon.com/I am the cute one. Come on.
You put your divorce behind a paywall?
Yeah, details. I'll do anything for money.
I love the power of positive thinking where you're like, I've got a story now. Big Brother, look at me now. Oh my God, are you okay?
Yeah, we're both great.
Okay, yeah, that's, oh my God. I'm I'm so
sorry to bombard you with this on live television.
It's not your fault, Ryan.
What if I was like,
not your fault. They love
what if I was like, I gotta
much,
go.
Ryan.
I can't do this. I mean, that's wild to find out on a podcast. That is literally. Now I'm gonna hide this show behind a paywall just to see if I get any luck rubbed off on me. Yeah, you do.
So wait, really quick, CBS producers, if you're listening, this is the kind of stuff you're missing by not putting me on Big Brother.
Jesse Tannenbaum. He's the casting guy over there.
He is.
Yeah,
Jesse.
You know what? I'll DM him and say you got to look at this guy. I went and saw a concert with him a couple of years ago. Yeah.
Oh, how was that?
Are you a Patreon member?
I gotta send you a link,
I got some news. I'm gonna Venmo request you $2 just so it's legal, but I gotta tell you something. Wow. I just imagine you filling it out and it's all exclamation points. I got a divorce. 30 exclamation points. This guy's so excited about his divorce. Wow. Chelsea, you need to apply too, just to see if you get in before he does.
Listen. The ex-husband I speak of, he is not interested, but he has been reached out to by reality TV people. And he said no in the past. But he told me, I think the next opportunity that comes my way, I will take. And I said, that's lovely. I support that. I hope you get it. If it's Big Brother, you will come back to everyone you've ever loved not being alive anymore. There will be... Is
that your John Jansen moment? Is that your $75,000 lawsuit? Is that this is the Johnny J. Shannon Bador all over again?
Yeah.
In February, we're covering Crazy Girl movies a la Gone Girl. And I really think that if you didn't just see what happened to Donny's eyes during that, I really feel like he's going to thrive in February. So again, Jesse, if you're listening...
Hey, I'll fail the psyche eval.
I can't see. What are other Crazy Girl movies?
Like Gone Girl, Swim Fan, Hand That Rocked the Cradle, Obsessed,
Fatal Attraction,
Misery.
Yes. Yeah, Misery.
Misery. I thought she was pretty cool, actually.
I think a lot of them are cool. The Roommate.
Jigsaw would be. I don't know why. Like Jigsaw at like Let Loose in Big Brother. Or in Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, of like Whitney's trying to like find out the mystery, and it's Jigsaw behind the Alibaba. You know, like do you like Alibaba, Whitney?
Honestly, Jigsaw talks very similarly to Meredith.
Yeah, and it has that unhinged jaw, like Alibaba. It is crazy. Do you think we'll ever see Seth Marks and Meredith Marks make love on camera? Because I feel like. Because I feel like they're like inching towards like a Tamra Eddie scene, like back in the day. I feel like Seth would be totally up for it.
Yeah, and it's going to be in a bathtub.
Of course it'll be in a bathtub.
Yeah.
One thing about Meredith is she loves churning butter and she loves taking baths.
Who knew that kind of like anger would come out of like being a fan of baths? And then Whitney should like one up and like make love in a bathtub with Justin on camera before they do it. Like Meredith would explode.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of? And I hate this is how I feel like I'm so desensitized. And I love Mary Cosby this season.
Love her.
I've loved her from day one, Ryan. This is the way that
I don't know about. I don't know if that's.
I have.
I have, and I'm unabashed. So this is the way I have to watch my shows is I have to watch with blinders on. I'm not looking to the sides. I'm not looking on Reddit. I'm not looking online. I'm not looking at anything she's doing off screen. And I am consuming the Mary M. Cosby that is being presented to me by Bravo. And through this lens, she is a masterpiece. I love her and Angie teaming up. I love the fact that Angie gets her, the fact that Mary gets in the car and says, "It smells like onions in here." And Angie's response, "Oh no, you hate onions." That is when I knew this ride or die team, they're gonna make it.
You knew, like, you know, she got rid of the Ferrari that day. She was like, well, this is no good to me anymore. Like, that's, well, but I mean, but from the beginning, like, because I had trouble with Mary Cosby in certain aspects, and it seems like whatever, I made that meme a couple weeks ago of like when Harry met Sally of I'll have what she's having, because she just seems so joyful. Like, and we know like her son has stuff, her grandpa husband has stuff going on. So there's other things happening, but she's like willing to like let people in. And she went to a dance class and participated, and she got Heather Gay's number. Like, she nailed Heather Gay at the end of last week's episode. God. And Heather did like the zoiks of like, she like when Mary told her she looked inbred last season, and Heather goes like this. Yeah. And she did it again at the end of this week's episode.
Yeah, I feel like Mary has clocked in this season. Like, she is ready to do the little activities they're all doing. But then also, she's clocked in a way where the first 4 seasons, she would give little zingers at them and they would be offended. But it was such outlandish shit that they could still, like, laugh and make her a punchline. Yes. But now, there's, like, meat to what she is saying where you can't laugh at her anymore.
But I'm
in those instances, yeah.
Well, I mean, she'll always say two batshit crazy things, and then she'll say something that's like dead on laser like.
But that's the magic of her, is she is either completely out of touch with reality or the Greek chorus. There's no in between, and that's what I love about her. Is she keeps me on my toes, because I'm like, which are we getting? Like,
she makes me feel like a young Bravo viewer again. Like,
yes. And I think also I was hesitant going into this season because I have liked what she brings when she is clocked in. And so for me, I was nervous about her being full-time again, because I actually thought she was great as a friend of, because she would kind of like come flying in, do her Mary thing, and then we're out. But I so far am really pleasantly surprised to see that like she is pulling her weight as a full-time cast member. Like, she isn't dipping out to go through the Wendy's drive-through or whatever.
No, I mean, she's not going to get a filet of fish sandwich. Like, she's doing, and I feel like they're almost like testing her of like each week. It seems like the activities are getting harder. And I'm like, by the end of the season, they're going to be like, well, today we're lighting everybody on fire. And she'll be like, okay, like, let's do it. And like, she's so agreeable.
Yeah. And then we're going to find out this whole season is just her audition for Celebrity Big Brother. And she will do that as well.
Oh no! When did Celebrity Big Brother come out? When did
they haven't aired it in like 3 years? Apparently,
they're out of celebrities. They're out of celebrities.
Nobody will do it anymore because they keep getting canceled because of the live feeds.
Donny, not you. You have the divorce going for you, but if you can become a full-fledged celebrity, that's another way into Big Brother.
You're right.
Celebrity Big Brother.
I'll see what I can do.
Yeah, I think you're close. I think you're almost there. I was just thinking about Mary last season. She was like really big friends with Meredith Marks. And then in the trailer for this season, we see that they get into some tiff. And I think it starts this week's episode. But I always loved Meredith Marks last season and seasons prior. Mary would say like the most batshit things, and Meredith would always be the one cast member that gave her total respect. Of like, that's very interesting, Mary. It's very astute. I think it's amazing. And I always like, she's speaking in tongues. What are you talking about, Mary? It's like, you're dead on, Mary, dead on. And now it's so funny that is now switched to Angie magically, from Meredith to Angie.
Yeah. All because she moved a piece of her hair or something.
Her teeth, the lipstick.
Oh, yeah.
All Mary needed in a friendship is like, thank you for not letting me be on this reunion stage with lipstick on my teeth. But I do kind of feel like they're real friends, though. Like, I do think they get each other.
Yeah.
Well, I'm always curious, like, how real any of these friendships are off camera. Like, are you guys texting? Are you, like, there's certain ones you can tell. Like, I do think Gina and Emily from OC keep in touch on the off season, but I do think it's like athletes in a way where they go and have their off time after the season ends, and then they come back for training practice or whatever the sports term is. And then they just play the season. And I feel like Housewives have become that. instead of like really true, real friendship. So I love when I get the sense that there's a real friendship going on.
Yeah.
And I think it's that exactly. And I think with Mary, she is unable to do that. I think whatever's going on up here, I think that she's unable to clock out. I think she takes the show seriously, and Angie knows that. And Angie knows, I can't just be her friend when cameras pick up again. I need to put the work in. And because of that, we see a friendship where work has been put in. Whereas like Heather and Whitney can say like, fuck you, bitch, I'll talk to you when cameras are on. And then
We're
cameras are on and they can be
friends.
tornado again. Yeah.
Whitney and Heather were in Australia, I think at some Hayu event this weekend. And I watched a TikTok clip of them on a radio or some interview, and they were almost in a subtle way taking credit for like the Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. Like we broke the glass ceiling for Mormons. And like Heather's like, this is what I was talking about the restrictions placed on women. And like, we started this conversation. So it's so great to see. And I guess you could say that in a sense. But I was like, oh, come on, guys. Come on. Let these ladies have full flowers, you know?
Ryan, the one thing that Donny and I agree on in this world is that Heather Gay drives us bonkers. We are not Heather Gay heads over here.
The first season, I was absolutely in love, and then it slowly petered away. And then I thought last season, I still go with she knew exactly what she wanted to say in that last episode. She had outlined it. Who knows if she let the producers know, but I think she tipped the producers off. But she had it because that's a person like Donny with Big Brother that knows that show inwards and outwards, knew exactly what she wanted to do with it. And it's like A Star is Born. And in a lot of ways, not us really deep thinkers, but a lot of people completely bought it hook, line, and sinker. Yeah. And now we can't get away from receipts proof timeline. Mm-hmm. We can't get away from it.
Someone tweeted, and I keep bringing this up. I think this is the third show I've guested on where I've brought it up. I need to really I need time to process this tweet.
Wow, thanks for saving it. Thanks for saving it, Kelsey.
Somebody tweeted, I'm glad we can all collectively agree that Heather Gay is the new Nene. I'm sorry. No. In what world? The Heather Gay Nene Venn diagram is 2 circles. Like,
did Heather Gay write that?
It was Von T. Reality Von T is doing it again. I can't.
Oh my God. Donny, you said in the episode this week that you have what you think is whooping cough. Do you still have whooping cough? Are you still sick?
There is a little wheezy action. Well, thank you. Make me laugh and then you'll hear it.
Well, I can't do
Very
that.
What
a shitty thing to say, Donny.
See, now that was it. Whooping.
It's just Nikki Gumbelson. Woohoo!
Woohoo! Okay, so Salt Lake, OC you don't watch, Potomac Donny watches. You are folding clothes or whatever.
Talk about it, and I'll be like the 2 old men Muppets in the balcony shouting down. It's fine.
Great.
I watched it last night, and I'm like, I mean, the only thing, it's like doing what housewives do. I didn't hate it. I wasn't like fully enamored, but it is interesting. Like you talked about the dissonance, the cognitive dissonance of Karen doing a DUI thing, refusing to talk about it, but it's almost because she's like Beyonce, and she's like, no, Beyonce wouldn't talk about it. But we have Shannon Bedore on the flip side of that coin, having a similar situation, and she looks like she dealt with Jigsaw this season. Like Shannon looks haunted by this again, and Karen, it's just like, back to business. It's really interesting to watch.
I think with Karen, I don't know what it is with Karen. I don't know if she's not all there. I don't know if she thinks the world is below her. I don't know. But that is what makes her a character to me, is that she is almost godlike in the way that she's untouchable because she is so unserious.
In her mind, she is godlike, which somehow it's like a weird. She has the Luann effect. Like Luann said, she was a cabaret star, and all of a sudden she
spoke it into existence.
Yeah, she really did believe in the power of manifestation.
And I have to tell you, like it like rattles me. Like I had to do a thing with Luann for the Jeff Lewis show, and she came in like I was like, this is what we're gonna make some funnies. She came in with an entourage, and it was like I was like, oh shit, like this is Beyonce, like, and I was like so caught up in it too, because then I was like, oh, I got to get on my game, like this is like the president's here or something, and she had the hat and the makeup, and she's like, what are we doing?
Did you have a statement necklace? Was it turquoise?
The whole thing. And I just thought I was kind of like it. I was looking at it a positive way of like, wow, she, we all joked about it, but here she is doing it night after night. Like she's really done this. And Karen, I got to see, because I had to ask some questions on a red carpet thing, and she was there. And I have to tell you, when I started talking to Karen, like the gravitas, where I was like, oh, I stood up a little straighter because I was like, I'm in the presence of royalty right now. And I really buy into those things. I can't do that myself. I will never go into a place with gravitas or any kind of like outward confidence. But these people, like it works. I completely bought it, both of what they were selling.
Yeah, you can't give yourself the nickname the Grand Dame and then not walk into a room like, I'm not going to talk about my DUI, but I will make my tagline about offense. Like,
she did wreck into a fence, right? Like that was
like literally.
Tamara's tagline next season is like, Shannon wrecked into a house. That's her tagline. Like, Tamara, that's your tagline? Like, just wanted to remind people. So we got that. OC, are you guys looking forward to any shows coming up? Like, are you waiting for like Beverly Hills? Are these shows still magical for you in any way? Because you always have the movies to fall back on, which, by the way, I was thinking I want to see you guys do The Net with Sandra Bullock. Talk about a movie that didn't age well.
I would love to.
The internet.
Sandy B is always welcome on the pod.
What shows are you looking forward to?
The day we're recording this, the trailer for Married to Medicine dropped, and I'm so excited for that.
And Contessa is back.
Yes, she is. Yes, she is. I'm thrilled for that. Beverly Hills, I always will have a relationship with. They were my first, so there's a special spot in my heart for them.
Sweet. Beverly Hills to me is like the cousin that you see twice a year that like you sometimes have a good time with and sometimes end up cussing each other out. And it's like TBD. I always like to celebrate Beverly Hills by picking a fight with my husband and dragging it out for 16 weeks, just to really feel like I'm a part of something.
What about Summer House Vanderpump Rules in Atlanta?
I am a Summer House.
Oh, and the Valley, I guess.
The Valley is bleak for me.
That's literally the tagline for the show. Valley, it's bleak. it's bleak. Yeah.
I will definitely watch Summer House. And you know what? I'm full of shit. I'm such a hypocrite. I'm like, the Valley, so dark. I will be tuning in just to see the Brittany and Jax of it all. And I probably will dip out, but I'm at least going to give it a little bit of a try.
You'll dip out like Sandoval? I'm dipping out, dude. Dipping out. How did DJ James Kennedy become the moral center of Vanderpump Rules?
God.
It's always like some guy that's always done just as bad of things, but you're like, I like him.
Well,
this season. What a good guy.
You know the conspiracy theory about that, and I know Ryan, you have like transcended where now you like rub elbows.
No. That's not. By the way, I know I had to stop. Like I realized that. Like I don't want personal relationships with these people after Sandoval. Like I realized this is bad for me across the board. Yeah. And they. I mean, and also like you talk enough shit, like they do hear about it. Like
I feel like Watch What Crappens. Ben and Ronnie are the only people who can somehow pull it off, where they are like they have relationships, but they can still completely talk shit as if they don't. And I think that is like such a magical quality. But so the rumor with their like the conspiracy theory with James Kennedy during the Scandival was that he was going to be the villain. He was going to get the bad edit. If you look at all of the press going into that season, they were getting Kristen Doty involved of like what was going on with her when they dated. That was going to be Raquel's storyline, was like coming out of the James of it all. And then Scandival happened, and then James got the good edit with us laughing as those planes went over his he was like, wow, he really made it.
There was an episode, he doesn't drink anymore, but there was an episode where he literally like ingested enough THC at his house. He was like chugging THC drinks. And I was like, that's like a literal tranquilizer for an elephant. Like that is not. And he was like jumping off his roof. I was like, this is insane. And he's the moral center of this show because the other men are so horrible in some ways. And Jax, I can't wait to see the Valley because he was another one I got to talk to at that red carpet thing. And the way he works, he says everything completely right. Like where I was like, what a good guy.
Did you feel compelled? Like, did you feel like you were taken into that like charismatic, like, oh, you know what, Jax, you know what, you have been trying.
No. Well, listen, I don't know if respect is the word. I do appreciate people's mental health journeys in a very real way because have my own, but I also like have to take medicine. I go to the therapist. I do a lot of things just to get to a baseline level of okay. Yeah. But the thing is, when you watch somebody on television for over a decade, you see that he's done this time and time again. Of course, I want to believe and hope for the best, but he'll tell you like the things where you're like, he's on the right track. Cause he was like, I can't, I want to be the best co-parent with Brittany. And then I interviewed Brittany 30 minutes later. And it's like, he just says whatever you want to hear, like she's got his number too. So I guess only time will tell on those things, but reality television, that doesn't help anything. It's like, if Jax walked away from reality TV, I'd be like, oh, he's really serious, man. Yeah. Like he's going to get his shit together. But now, it's just, they're that's the ultimate horror film. That's the ultimate Saw, is Vanderpump Rules, of being shackled together for the end of days. They will always have to talk about each other. They've all hooked up with each other. It's super dark. So even me, I'm like, I don't know if I'm looking forward to Vanderpump Rules. Like, of course I'll eat everything up Vanderpump Rules, but I don't know if, it's not as joyful as it once was. And they were still bad back then, but it was more joyful for me.
Well, they had their whole lives in front of them, like Jax Taylor saying, I did have sexual relations with that woman in Vegas. That was,
I thought you were doing a Bill Clinton thing at first. That's what I thought. Sexual relations
tomato, tomato, Ryan. But that was the first time that he got us all. I remember watching that first season. I'm like, oh my God, Stassi was telling us the truth this whole time. He really is this bad guy. And now it's okay, well, we've heard about your broken brain and we've heard about the ace bandage of your mind for 100 seasons now. I don't know. At some point it's again, pop culture should be hee hee ha ha. Bravo should be hee hee ha ha. And it's gotten to be, oh boy. Well,
as we wind down here, what is hee hee ha ha for you guys right now? What are the things that truly bring you joy besides each other and doing this podcast? I am the cute one. What are the hee hee ha ha's of pop culture where you're like, oh, that shines through as something bright?
I can't say enough great things about House of Villains, Ryan.
Thank God you didn't say Big Brother. I thought you were fucking going to say Big Brother. And I was like, I get it, man. Yeah. You love House of Villains this season, which, by the way, Jax Taylor popped up on.
He did. And so did, what's her face from America's Next Top Model? Janice Dickinson was on episode 2.
And isn't Larsa Pippen in this week?
Yes, not just this week. So Larsa is the twist. And when the first person got kicked out, they brought Larsa in instead.
Spoiler alert. Donny loves to spoil. Oh, also, Donny, what's bringing you hee hee ha ha joy is Wicked and that. And
are you excited for the movie?
I'm so excited about the movie, but Ryan, what I love most in the news cycle is a woman.
Cynthia Erivo's.
Well, yes. When the world turned against Blake Lively, I joined her on the front lines for
Ryan, that was Donny's take on our TGIF pop culture roundup. He made Blake Lively the cutie of the week.
She was.
Fully was all these headlines, let me read them now. Back to back in a montage. She is my queen.
I giggled throughout reading all these terrible things she said in the past to people. It truly
wait. So you even acknowledge they're terrible things, but you're like, they are terrible, but God, I love you.
Yes, Ryan, my favorite one was, and we all know about the little bump and all that stuff. My favorite thing.
Wait. What's the little bump?
You don't know that? Where is she from, Chelsea? Do you know, Sweden or some shit? There was this interviewer from a different country.
Shout out to the listeners from Sweden.
Didn't know we were going cross country. Wow, this is the international podcast.
There was an interviewer from across the pond somewhere, and she said it was when Blake Lively was pregnant during some old movie promotion, and the interviewer was like, congratulations on your little bump. And Blake Lively didn't want to talk about the pregnancy, so she said, congratulations on your little bump. And the woman was not pregnant. We found out later that she can't have children. It was just fat shaming.
Wait. But did you that specific interviewer also had a bad interviewer with Anne Hathaway?
Yeah.
Anne Hathaway. And then I saw we're just such a trash society. TikTok. I saw this then it was people coming down on the interviewer of I think she does this. I think she does purposely weird, bad interviews to get celebrities talking about her. So then she can make her YouTube video of worst interview ever.
Ryan, that was my take on our podcast. We talked about it 2 weeks
and that
ago.
TikToker was Donny.
That's my take. I hate that woman. But out of the things Blake Lively said that were terrible, during a Gossip Girl promo tour or whatever, someone said, in the books, there's a monkey. Chuck Bass has a monkey. Do you think you could ever bring a monkey on the show? And Blake Lively pointed to Leighton Meester and said, I've worked with a few of them. And, like, if I said that about Chelsea, that's hee ha ha. But the cast, like Penn Badgley and Chase Crawford, their jaw dropped. And then Blake Lively was like, oh, it's a joke. Get over it. It's so good.
I like that she's like Mae West when you do Blake Lively. She's like, oh, you kids, like, come on over to mama and I'm going to give you some sugar. So you've been like officially bought off by Big Pharma, but it's like Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds. You've been
and whatever woman's in Wicked. That's the latest one.
Cynthia Erivo is my new Unhinged queen.
Yeah, I don't know
so
anything
Cynthia
about,
Erivo, I haven't done this story yet. I meant to do it in the Pop Culture Roundup, but she got really upset because the Wicked poster, you know, the stage show poster, the witch character has her head down in the image. And in this, Cynthia is looking directly at the camera. Mm-hmm. And a lot of people were making fan edits of this poster, you guys, where they had Cynthia looking down like the playbill, like the poster that everybody's known. And Cynthia took to Instagram and said, this is highly offensive. You know, you are taking away me. I chose to stare down the barrel of that camera. And I was like, wait, isn't this a family film? Like, why are we being this serious? Like, and I think she's amazing, but like, my God, like, take it down like a couple notches. Cause I don't think, like, it wasn't like they changed her skin tone or they made her like a different person. It was still her just looking down.
Yeah.
Well, I saw it and I texted Donny because I famously know nothing about musical theater, any of it. Like, this is going to be my first foray into Wicked. We're covering it on the Patreon. God knows what I'm going to have to say about it because I don't know. But I had to text Donny. I was like, how should I be feeling about this? Because like, I'm looking at what was done. Like, is this am I missing something here? And Donny was like, oh, no. Let me give you the lay of the land of what's going on here.
Because now what people did to Blake Lively, where they just piled on anytime they heard a bad story, they're doing it to Cynthia Erivo now too. And this girl is like, I tweeted how much I wanted to see The Color Purple 10 years ago when she was in it, and said that like I was a high school student, I didn't have money, and it's so sad that I can't see it. And she responded and said, maybe if you sold that iPhone you're tweeting on. See, that kind of stuff I live for. So that's what brings me joy, to answer your question.
Oh my God. I hope I will never get the chance to interview her, but now if I ever do, I will be scared shitless. I will like literally think about any of that's.
Well, don't ask her if she had a green pussy, because that was the other one she was real mad about.
She's upset about that too.
Wait, could somebody ask her if she had a green pussy like the witch?
So like dating back to the early days of Wicked, that poster you spoke of already, the cartoon with the witch's hat down, people used to deface it on subway platforms and have the good witch whisper in the ear and write, "Is your pussy green?" So now people are making memes about
Broadway lore. Yeah.
So people are making memes from the movie with Ariana and Cynthia where it says, "Is your pussy green?" and Cynthia was not having it.
Well, and also people forget that they should be upset about Ariana Grande being with Ethan Slater from the movie Wicked, when Ethan Slater was allegedly married and had a child and all of this stuff. And we were mad about that like a year ago, I think. And the movie hadn't. So at least we're not talking like Ariana Grande is probably like, balls in your court now, green puss, you know.
Ariana Grande went on SNL and killed it, and everybody forgets that she's fucking SpongeBob, you know?
Yeah.
But isn't that like pop culture? So like we all kind of have this like cyclical, like it goes so quick, like we're so enraged for like a couple weeks, and then we truly do kind of just magically like eternal sunshine forget about it.
We men in black ourselves, and then I'm like, wait, why are we supposed to be mad at that person again?
Well, like maybe we shouldn't have gotten that upset in the first place. Like maybe we shouldn't have gotten that freaked out. Wait, what sick thing did you say, Donny?
I was gonna say it's what the plot of Chicago is, currently starring Alyssa Milano on Broadway.
No, I don't know why I laughed at. I love Alyssa Milano. Is she the Ariana Maddox role?
Yes, yeah.
Yeah. Well, Ryan, in your defense, you heard Donny say something with passion, and so I too assumed it was something diabolical, because that would be par for the course.
It's like I was waiting for a dick joke. For you, what is your ha ha hee hee?
I think honestly, I have really been enjoying, like, when we're doing our TGIF episodes, I try to find the most bonkers headline I can at some point. And it's really funny. My husband, who does not listen to the show, God bless him, but he has started
It's best
sending.
that way.
Yeah.
It is best that way. Like, he's so supportive. He lets me come down to the basement and yell at my Zoom computer screen for however many hours a week. And
It's always a basement. It's always
yes,
a basement.
always a basement dweller for life. But he has started like doing, I guess it's like the equivalent of like a Facebook mom. Like, he'll send me screenshots of headlines that he sees that like he thinks will be good for our show. And he's honestly like low key becoming one of our
Good at it?
producers because he
Yeah.
is very good at it. But like this week, for example, we learned that there was a UK ruling where a judge said that it is in fact sexual harassment to call a man bald.
And that, your husband's Dr. Bald.
He's bald. So I have a real life husband who's a bald man who's a Pisces. My work husband, Donny,
Yeah.
bald man, Pisces. I have a type. And so we had to have a conversation on our show is bald a slur? And should we be standing with the bald community as allies, as haired allies?
Donnie, I just had an idea though. Another pivot for Big Brother is if you start wearing a wig.
Oh, if you wear a toupee, but
guess
you
what,
don't
Big? Guess
acknowledge
who's
it.
got hair now? Like, it would be amazing.
That's good. I'll try anything. Jesse, if you're listening,
I'll stand about it if you're listening. I'm gonna DM this dude for real when this show comes out and go,
No, Donnie
you need to take a look at this guy.
Like, in all earnesty, Donnie is ready to play the villain, and the more people hate him, the more he's going to lean in. He
But
does
Donnie's
it every week on our
lovable.
show.
Like, Donnie's so lovable. Like, even when he
Well.
says hateful things, you still love it. I mean,
and
like,
that
you
is
hate
why
it.
I'll thrive, Ryan. It really is, because I do say hateful things. I hate a short-haired woman. I hate when ugly people smoke cigarettes. But I can say these things openly in public and then giggle about it. And because of the giggle, it does bring people down a little bit. There's probably an ugly short-haired woman smoking a cigarette right now, and she's like, well, goddamn it.
Donnie. That's just our
Hey,
Donnie.
anywho, it's been so great catching up with you guys. No, it would be great if you got on the show and I was like, I tune in and I'm like, oh, this is gonna be like a funny villain thing, but you're actually like, you fucking bitch. I will fuck you. Like, it's like scary nasty where you're like, oh God, like he's like evil. Like,
Yeah.
folks, I think we've said it all and we could say so much more. I could keep this going forever because I've not laughed this hard and at least since I saw the doctor on Friday, and it is so great. I'm so happy to talk to you guys again. I hope that it's not this long till we talk next time, because this was just perfect. This was perfect. And I want to tell people, if you love this banter, there's got to be a couple of you that like Donnie. And I mean, Chelsea's already perfect, but Donnie, obviously the rebel of the duo. The podcast is called I Am the Cute One. And we always tell people, obviously, to go rate the podcast 5 stars because it's like the freest thing that you can do. If you can't afford the Patreon to find out about Donnie's divorce and whatever else is happening, go rate this podcast 5 stars. People need to hear this. I'm telling you, you are going to love it if you haven't heard it. The Patreon, subscribe to the YouTube. There are so many good things coming up for you guys, but I just want to thank you because I know it's night. I know you guys both have lives, so thank you for being here because this was great. Is there anything else you'd like to say?
We
No,
don't
thank
have
you for
lives.
having-
Don't let that lie trickle out there. But besides that, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you
Yeah.
for having us on. And we want to have you back for either a pop culture roundup or if you have a film that didn't age well, we'd love to talk to you about it. Because the last time you were on, we covered Dick, I think.
Dick, it's good in this political climate we're in to see where God.
Where it all
Okay, sorry,
began.
just reminded myself of the election and I got sad. Okay.
We were maybe going to cover Idiocracy next month, but I think it's
It's
gonna hit a
too,
little
we see it every day now. We see it every day. It's
Uh-huh.
truly wild. And on that positive note, I will talk to you guys hopefully very soon. Yeah, I'm happy to come on for whatever. This was a blast. Thank you guys.
Thank you.